Welcome to your reset with Christiane Piano, where the purpose is to support you in releasing all that you are not, so the truth of who you really are can emerge. This is accomplished through working with the BodyMind from an ontological perspective. We use various modalities to support you in supporting yourself exactly where you are, so that you may return to an experience of wholeness and ease, moment by moment. Deep reflection is one of the greatest tools through which to do this. To take a moment, to pause, assess, reflect, and literally and figuratively reset, come back to center, and move back into your one and precious life with increased clarity and purpose. Hello and welcome. I am Christiane Piano, and this week's reflection is an episode on the unknown. The conversation around the unknown comes up a lot in the work I do with people, and as I personally navigate ever-increasing freedom in my own personal and professional life. But what is the unknown exactly? It is that space, place, person, experience that we do not know. Now, there is the known unknown, that is, that which we know we do not know. And then there is the realm of the unknown unknowns, those things we aren't even aware that we don't know. Learning, growing, and evolving comes from navigating in the first level of the unknown, which will eventually lead to the second, if there is enough support, curiosity, courage, and willingness. If you think about your relationship to the unknown, how would you describe it? I invite you to pause and have a think and then write it down. Flow of consciousness kind of thing. No editing, no judgment. Just whatever rises to mind. As you reflect on those initial thoughts and feelings, let's delve a little deeper into how the unknown manifests in your body. When you think of the experiences you have had of dipping your toe in the water of the unknown, or perhaps a full and total experience, whatever that may be for you, or simply just the idea of the unknown, what thoughts arise? Physical sensations. What happens to your breathing? Your posture? What are your go-tos to provide yourself with comfort in those moments? By bringing conscious awareness to our relationship with anything, and in this case the unknown, will support us in creating space from it. And then from there we can then begin to gain some perspective and perhaps, if there is a desire, to create a shift in our relationship to allow for something new in our lives, whether it be with our inner terrain or the outer. Interestingly, the words obscure and mysterious are listed as synonyms. And the strongest match for antonyms are anonymous, exotic, foreign, nameless, new, remote, strange, uncharted, undiscovered, unexplained, unexplored, unfamiliar, unidentified, unnamed, unrecognized. The nuances in these words highlight the spectrum of our potential responses to the unknown. When you listen to these words, which pop out and grab your attention? Do you notice in the words you choose the relationship to the unknown becomes more clear. Some are laden with warning and a standoffish approach, while others invite curiosity and a sense of possibility. Drawing parallels between our personal experiences with the unknown and the broader shifts we're witnessing, it's clear that this is a theme deeply interwoven with our current reality. As I have spoken to in earlier episodes, I prefer to speak to themes that are relevant and interrelated with what is actually unfolding in the world we live in, and how this may be impacting you personally. My hope is that this episode sparks something within you, that you don't simply listen and move on. So let's dive in and see where our conversation takes us, shall we? So as of late, many of you have shared that there seems to be a general awareness of a major shift unfolding in the world. And this shift not only impacts each of us individually, but all of humanity. The illusion of having all the answers is becoming increasingly difficult to maintain. Would you agree? There has been a tendency for many of us in getting used to pushing away the mystery of life, seeking comfort in what feels predictable and secure. But it seems that our traditional methods of seeking certainty through rigid routines, repetition, and unquestioned beliefs are beginning to feel less stable. We're facing something a little wider now. Think about it, the way viruses keep changing, and let's be honest, when we look at some of the leadership in the world, sometimes it feels like we're seeing a real lack of fully realized maturity. That this sense of not yet fully realized maturity at the top, combined with global financial instability and these ongoing health challenges, this can evoke a profound, even paralyzing sense of anxiety. It's like the comfortable illusion we had is fading, and we're suddenly more aware of just how vast and unknown everything really is. Faced with this undeniable sense of a changing world, the question arises, how do we navigate this increasing uncertainty? And in the face of that immensity, what do? Do we double down on trying to control what can't be controlled? Or is there another way? What if, just for a moment, we considered a different approach? Instead of the constant striving against the unknown, what if we could cultivate a little more softness and acceptance that life holds a profound mystery, aspects that will always remain beyond our complete grasp? Growing the capacity to be, to simply be, with life as it is, and meet it and ourselves as we are. Well, that's a skill set. It's a journey, this shift, not a sudden destination. I've become increasingly aware of the immense energy we invest in trying to perfect life, to force it into a predetermined mold, a truly exhausting endeavor. What if we could gently release that relentless pursuit? Perhaps life has its own rhythm, its own wisdom, and our role isn't to dictate every note. Think about it. We often treat life like a problem to be solved, a series of obstacles to overcome. But what if we gently shifted our perspective, moving away from the idea of life as a problem to be fixed? What if we began to see life as a relationship, something we engage with, something we can be curious about? It reminds me of how many ancestral cultures have viewed the world not as a collection of inanimate objects, but as a living, breathing entity. What if we could gently move towards anthropomorphizing life a little more, treating each situation not as an it to be conquered, but as a thou to be understood? What might we learn if we approach life with that kind of reverence? And with any genuine connection, there are moments when we recognize our limitations. Times when we feel a sense of powerlessness, perhaps even a touch of helplessness. And you know what? That's a deeply human experience. especially when facing the vastness of the unknown. It can even serve as a gentle invitation to seek connection, to lean on others. And yet we live in a culture that often champions unwavering independence. But there's a quiet strength in acknowledging our vulnerabilities. Consider how children approach the world, their eyes wide with wonder, completely at ease with the vastness of what they don't yet know. It brings to mind John Keats' idea of negative capability, that ability to exist in uncertainties, mysteries, doubts, without any irritable reaching after fact and reason. Perhaps we can reclaim some of that comfort with the unknown, allowing ourselves to simply be with it. As Albert Einstein wisely said, "Never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born." Perhaps we can rediscover a sliver of that innate curiosity, that sense of awe that keeps us so vividly present, connecting us to the whole. However, that innate comfort with the unknown often gets overshadowed, especially when we're faced with genuine challenges, including sometimes feeling like those in charge aren't exactly showing the way with grounded maturity. It's easy for our minds to jump about to the absolute worst case scenario. We start dramatizing the situation, catastrophizing every possibility. It's almost as if our minds try to create a sense of certainty by imagining how awful things could be. But what if we could gently redirect that energy? What if we consciously cultivated present moment awareness and focused on all that actually is, for the beauty that still exists, even amidst the questions? And in navigating this, it's crucial to remember we're not meant to do it in isolation. Reaching out, sharing our experiences, offering support, it's a fundamental aspect of being human, a way of connecting to the larger web of life. So how does this interplay between our internal and external worlds, this concept of body-mind well-being, support us in navigating the unknown? Think about when you feel that underlying anxiety, that sense of unease, that all this uncertainty and sometimes, frankly, the lack of wisdom we see around us can bring up. Often when we're grappling with the unknown, our nervous system can become dysregulated. It's like an internal alarm system stuck in the on position. Simply taking a few deep breaths down into the belly, noticing the sensations in our bodies without judgment, it can create a small anchor in the storm, a way to connect back to our inherent wholeness and help bring that nervous system back into balance. Just being, not striving, not fixing, not analyzing, just allowing ourselves to be present in our own skin, even for a few moments each day. It can feel surprisingly revolutionary in our constantly doing world. And as we cultivate this gentle awareness, we might begin to notice the deeper roots of our discomfort, those ingrained patterns of needing to control, the illusion that separation is our natural state. And you may be wondering just how this possibly helps with the illusion of control. Often, that intense need to control stems from a place of underlying fear or unease, a feeling of disconnection. As we gently explore these deeper sensations through embodied practices, we might begin to see that a lot of that control is a story we've internalized, a way of trying to feel separate and safe in a world that is fundamentally interconnected. It's not about forcefully dismantling that need, but more about understanding its origins, perhaps loosening its grip over time, and remembering our inherent connection to the larger tapestry of life. So it's not about ignoring the uncertainty or the sometimes disheartening lack of mature guidance we see, but about finding a different way to be with it, and with the understanding that we are all part of something larger. You know, this journey into the unknown, especially given the realities we're facing, doesn't have to be a heavy, tragic affair. We might bump into a sense of lost meaning, and yeah, that can feel pretty challenging. But I truly believe that it's also this incredible opening, this chance to build a more honest, real relationship with ourselves and with the messy, beautiful thing that is life. And when we can do that, we start living life on its terms, not just the ones we've tried to impose. Learning to regulate our nervous system. The nervous system can be dysregulated as the ego moves towards making peace with the unknown. It's just a very different relationship. Sitting quietly with your eyes closed, imagine for 30 seconds a place where you feel very comfortable and nourished. This kind of relationship is quite different, has a new flavor, if you will. I invite you to take a couple of breaths and allow them to just naturally deepen. Just pause for a moment. A couple of deep breaths. Notice where the breath is traveling. Where is it not traveling? Are you even able to pause in this moment and do such a thing? Or do you need to put this on pause and come back to it later? If you're able, just close your eyes and begin to notice, as you shift your attention inward, what sensations are present. And in your mind's eye, imagine for 30 seconds, very briefly, a place where you feel very comfortable and nourished. Let go of the image and focus on internal sensations such as abdominal tightness, changes in temperature, pulsations. Don't try to change any of them. Just observe and notice what sensations come until you see the presence of calm somewhere in your body. Now begin to hone your attention to that space where you experience calm. And allow it to simply create waves outward so it begins to spread. And allow that to unfold until you're done, till it feels right. And before re-engaging with the outer world, perhaps remain calm for a minute or so, just breathing in this space. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Notice the world around you. Little experiences like this interspersed throughout our day can be quite supportive in returning to calm and centeredness. It doesn't take much, but it does require us to create new pathways. We must interrupt the ever doing. Be aware enough when we feel out of balance. It is in the moment when we feel out of balance, when we feel overwhelmed, that opportunity arises. Because when we become aware of something, we can then choose to interact in some type of experience that will help bring us back to center. You see, paying attention to how much your routine, repetition, and dogma attempt to domesticate the unknown. You can even identify one or two places where you can become a bit more flexible. Take a different route to work, eat something different for breakfast, listen to different music, or maybe even call a friend whom you have not spoken to in some time. It's about learning to move beyond simply surviving the waves of the unknown, and perhaps with time and gentle awareness, learning to navigate them with a little more fluidity, a little more ease. And sometimes having a compassionate witness on that journey can make all the difference. As we navigate this ever-evolving landscape of the known and unknown, remember that you are not alone in this journey. Cultivating a gentle curiosity, embracing the present moment, and connecting with your inner wisdom are powerful support systems. May you find a deeper sense of peace and possibility as you move forward, allowing life to unfold with its own inherent rhythm. If this exploration of the unknown has resonated with you, if you're feeling a nudge to cultivate a more easeful and embodied relationship with uncertainty, I invite you to explore how I might support you further, whether through the personalized guidance of one-to-one sessions, the immersive experience of BodyMind workshops, or the accessible resources of my video-on-demand platform. There are pathways to deepen your journey of self-discovery and navigate the unknown with greater resilience and grace. I invite you to visit my website at www.christianepiano.com to learn more and connect. I would be honored to be a compassionate witness on your path. I leave you with these words of wisdom. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. I hope you found this episode supportive. Feel free to share it, like, follow, or subscribe. I thank you for tuning in, and until next time. If you are interested in working with me on any level of body-mind well-being, whether it be through individual body-mind maturation work sessions, perhaps participating in a series, individual privates, or through my video-on-demand services, if you have questions, if you would like to engage on any level, feel free to schedule a free 15-minute consult in the appointments section, www.christianepiano.com, or email me directly at growth@christianepiano.com.